So let's be real, the GDKP scene and the WoW token have totally ruined server economies to the point where as a player you will suffer if you don't take part in these practices. Economies have drastically inflated the value of consumables, gems and enchants. But you don't have to join the dark side, you don't have to join GDKPs or buy a WoW token to competently play the game. And you also don't have to farm gold, you just have to be smart about how you maximise your gold income while simultaneously playing the game. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. These are my laziest gold making strategies because GDKPs and the WoW token. Now, one of the easiest ways to make gold in the game is just converting currencies into gold. I think one of the lesser known methods of doing this is converting Stonekeeper shards into Wintergrasp tokens and then those into honor points, and then the honor points obviously into gems at the PvP vendor in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. Just remember to check the value of the gems, so that obviously that you can pick the gem that is worth the most gold. Remember that sometimes the cheaper gems are actually worth more because they require less honor points. When you no longer need Emblems of Triumph, you can also buy Crusader orbs. It's 15 for one orb. SIDEREAL essences can also be converted into Crusader orbs, and you actually only need 3. Because of this, if you're in a competent group, you can make 500 to 1000 gold per hour just farming heroic beta dungeons. Obviously this depends on group setup, player skill and the server prices of the orbs. Emblems of Conquest can be converted into ruined orbs for 18 badges. Now what you want to do is you want to check this against the price of raw gems that can be bought with Emblems of Heroism. A simple method of doing this is get the total gold value, divide it by the number of emblems required, and Bob's your uncle. I think a lot of people do just mindlessly buy the gems, and because a lot of people are doing that, the price of them is obviously dropping against a ruined orb, and I feel like the ruined orb is also increasing in value slightly recently. This is just on my server anyway, so be sure to check the price of the ruined orb against the raw gems. A really simple way of doing this is get the add-on Auctionator, do a quick scan, and then it will just show the price whenever you mouse over the items. Speaking of add-ons, for those people out there who are going to play on hardcore servers, ResetXP have released a leveling add-on with the safest and most efficient route for hardcore servers. And if you want a cheeky 5% off, just check the description. Now back to gems. When you get raw gems of currency, you can sometimes make more gold with that raw gem if you have a craft to make it into a cut that is more valuable. You can now very easily get all the recipes with the titanium powder quest, because you do not have to do a daily or anything like that. You just get the titanium powder, which you can buy for the auction house and keep turning it in for a token and then get the recipes you want. Obviously this is going to cost you gold, but it's normally worth the investment in the long run. You spend a little bit gold now, but in the long run you are going to be making more gold. Sometimes you can just buy raw gems off the auction house and flip them after cutting them for a little bit of really easy gold. My personal recommendation, because this is what I do, is I only buy 1 gem of each colour at once, or of each cut at once, because sometimes gems can take a while to sell. A lot of people are doing this and they will undercut you often. Auctionator can also do a quick scan to find out whether you have been undercut, so you can cancel the auction and reapply it later. The same strategy applies for blue gems. Some people don't want to buy the big expensive epic gems on gear when they're still gearing up an alt and replacing gear frequently, so there's still money to be made on the crappy gems. Again, just flip them one at a time. You can also apply this method very easily with alchemy transmute. You buy the raw materials, do the transmute, and then you make a very easy profit by just simply sitting at the auction house. It's also definitely worth having an enchanting and tailoring alt to passively make gold. I have an enchanter logged out at the blade vendor in Halar. All I do is I buy the throwing weapon, I then disenchant it, and I will do this 3 times because the planar essences do sell on my server for 12 gold each, And this will respawn, the blade will respawn every hour. So, you know, I do this whenever I log in, I do it sometimes when I'm working, I'm sat at my PC, just whenever I can really. Sometimes obviously other people doing this, but I normally can get logged in and get this method done. I also have tailoring on this character, so whenever I get cloth in the game, I send it to the tailor to make bags. So you get more gold from your raw cloth. Alternatively, you can just auction the raw cloth, just never vendor it. In fact, you should get out of the habit of just quickly vendoring stuff like cloth and putting it on the auction house, because although something may only be worth a little bit, in the long run you will make a decent amount of gold. It's also worth doing the jewel crafting and cooking daily when you can for an extra 200 gold per day, and these barely take any time. I've also bulk bought all of the raw gems that you need for the jewel crafting daily to save even more time. And my last bit of advice is to have a bank character that you can send all your resources to for the sake of organisation. Now, the only thing that really takes time in this process is obviously finding out, you know, what gold flips you can do, etc, etc. But luckily ResidXP also provide a service where you can just go online and it will do it all for you. It will tell you all the best gold flips, and if you want to actually farm gold, it will tell you the best gold farming methods currently on your server, because it scans auction house data on all servers. So if you want to check that also, it's always in the description of the video. It's also a really great way to support content creators like me. You don't necessarily have to use my referral code, you can go and use somebody else's if you so choose. But anyway, until my next video, ciao.